How's it going, everybody? I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. There have been none before me, there have been none after me, therefore I am the one and only Jake Covey, the big guy, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got a news-filled week this week on Wrestling Made Simple. Then we have a Raw and SmackDown review. Then a review of Survivor Series 2000. Sometimes my mind gets a little scattered. And then my predictions for Survivor Series this year. And then we have the Battle Droid of the Week, your drink of the week as well. Let's get into the news. As Teddy Long said, he was in communications with CM Punk very soon after the fight. Apparently, according to Teddy Long, it was immediately after the fight. He says he is a straight-up guy, and if he feels something wrong, he's just going to speak up about it. He said Punk wasn't worried about his job. He said he doesn't want to wrestle another day in his life. He's pretty much set. So for him, he's able to speak up and let people in the company know just exactly what's going on and how he feels. There's a lot of guys he knows who he would wish express how they really feel, but they can't. And apparently, Taylong texted him and said, "Congratulations, man, you did it again." I don't know what Taylong's thinking, man, but hey, if that's the way they want to be, that's the way he wants to be, man. You know, I'm not a fan of CM Punk, so I'm not going to pretend I am. But, hey, if you feel like you're standing up for something, man, I'll give you credit where credit's due. Stand up for what you believe in. And also, has the fifth member of Bianca's Survivor Series War Games team been leaked? Apparently, Becky Lynch has been discussed and is the planned fifth member for the War Games match. Several members of the new WWE regime are excited to work with Becky without her being under the auspices of Vince McMahon's booking. So she will be coming back a face, not a heel. It's going to give me some bullshit, but I liked her as a heel, man. I thought she was fun as a heel. So you know what? I'm fine with it, but at the same time, I kind of liked the heel character she went with. And the original plan for Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul has been leaked. Apparently, it was just supposed to be a clean victory. Logan was not supposed to be distracted by the Usos. Roman was supposed to go over clean over Logan, but that changed once Jake Paul was brought in for the match. So apparently Jake Paul threw a big monkey wrench into the main event for Crown Jewel. And unfortunately, it was some very sad news as Jason David Frank, he was one of the original Power Rangers. He was the original Green Ranger, became the White Ranger, and basically went on to play a Red Ranger or a Black Ranger in he was a part of almost every Power Rangers ever. And he unfortunately took his own life earlier this week. Austin Creed paid tribute to him. He heard the news, and him and Kofi Kingston would wear the green and white in honor of him in a lot of their matches because they were such big fans. So the fact that he's gone, man, that sucks. You know, I grew up watching those Power Rangers, watching not just my morphing, but he always felt like he was a part of the Power Rangers, and me growing up that way, man, Billy Joel was right, man. Only the good die young. 49's way too young to go. So sad news that he is gone. May he rest in peace. Hopefully he found the peace he was looking for. And I hope one day you get to see him again. One day. But let's get off of the sad news and go on to SmackDown. SmackDown kicked off with Drew McIntyre and the Brawling Brutes. Sheamus said they need to make Drew an honorary Brody and team up with the Bloodline in a Survivor Series War Games match. Drew agreed to join forces with them, but said they need one more. Sami Zayn then came out and said he doesn't care who the last person is. He guarantees the Bloodline will win will win the War Games match. Sheamus then said their last man will be someone Sami never expects, and that person would debut later on that night. We then got Ricochet versus Mustafa Ali in the World Cup tournament. Ricochet and Mustafa Ali put on a great match. This one, honestly, it makes me wish the Cruiserweight division was back and was definitely more featured on WWE TV, because this could have been an amazing match between these two for the Cruiserweight title. Ricochet did pull out the win and will advance to face Braun Strowman in the next round. We then get Karrion Kross versus Madcap Moss. Karrion Kross was able to win. A little help from Scarlett on the outside with a rake to the eyes. Karrion Kross pulls off the win. Apparently they're kind of teasing in the Emma versus and Madcap Moss versus Karrion Kross and Scarlett match. I don't really care for that match. I much prefer Scarlett as a manager. You know, some managers are great in the ring. Others are Paul Heyman, who just need to be outside the ring and will always make an impact that way, though. When they make that impact, it's something tremendous. We then get Bray Wyatt cutting an in-ring promo questioning if he can change, and said he wanted to apologize to LA Knight for headbutting him last week. LA Knight then came out and said he didn't fear Bray, but he respected him, and that Bray respects him as well. And because of that, he headbutted Bray Wyatt and said that they are now even. Bray said there's a lot he wants to do to LA Knight, but he will not, and that they are even, and they should just LA Knight should just walk away. LA Knight starts to get out of the ring, turns around. Bray says, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I'm warning you, this isn't your smartest move." LA Knight then slaps Bray and says it's a 2-for-1 special. Apparently this will be a match at Survivor Series, and we will get LA Knight and Bray Wyatt's in-ring debut since coming back to WWE. I wonder what it's going to be like. We then get the Usos interrogating Karrion Kross and asking if he's the last man for the War Games team. Kross confirmed he is not the last man and said he will come to Roman Reigns on his time. We then get Shotzi versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler was dominating Shotzi with a little tiny bit of help from Ronda Rousey on the outside. Of course, Raquel Rodriguez came out to help Shotzi, and this led to kind of Ronda Rousey being chased off. Not afraid, but I will say definitely like, okay, I don't need this fight. So she gets chased off by Raquel Rodriguez, which allows Shotzi to pick up the win over Shayna Baszler. We then get Imperium, and by the way, if you have not lived until you have heard SmackDown's in-ring announcer, I can't remember her name right now, escapes me, announce Imperium. She is just perfect. I rewound my SmackDown replay 1,000 times just to hear that. She was just perfect announcing Imperium, so shout out to her. You had Braun Strowman join the New Day for this match, which was cool to see. I enjoyed it. People were giving them shit of Gunther being afraid of Braun Strowman. Dude, the guy is 6'8", over 300 pounds, ripped more than anyone you've ever seen. I'd be afraid of that motherfucker, and I'm 6'3" and 300 pounds. I'd be afraid of that motherfucker. So you know what? People are giving shit for Gunther being afraid of him? Fuck you. After the match, Braun Strowman would pick up the win and would go backstage saying he is ready to win the Intercontinental Championship back after he wins the World Cup. Ricochet then said, "Hey, don't look past me yet. Us flippy-do guys," your words, not mine, which is what Ricochet said. I thought that was funny because you could tell, okay, they're making light of this. They're making light of what Braun Strowman tweeted. Yeah, he fucked up tweeting. I should have tweeted that. But guys, you gotta let it go, man. Everyone, listen. Was it stupid? Yes. Was it a little mean and offensive? Yes. Should Braun Strowman get a little heat for it? Yes. But does he have his whole career destroyed by this? I don't get what the Braun Strowman hate is, man. This guy's a former Universal Champion. People loved him. Fuck you. Don't get me wrong. Did he fuck up? Yes. But I'll get more of that later on. We then get Sami Zayn versus Butch in the World Cup tournament. Butch was able to pick up the win after the Brawling Brutes got involved. Then Drew McIntyre, the Bloodline, starts fighting them off. And then Kevin Owens comes out. He is the fifth man. Kevin Owens is back on the War Games. I love it. Someone who knows about War Games. Someone who's been in that cage before. This is going to be fun. This is going to be good. I've always wanted to actually see a real Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn feud. A real one. I don't feel we got that at WrestleMania 37. It was a good match. But this could be a fun one. This could be a fun one. That was SmackDown. SmackDown was very fun this week. Really enjoyed it. Raw, well. It was the go-home show. It kicked off with Kevin Owens says he still considers Sami Zayn a brother. Is coming after Roman Reigns when they face off in War Games. Drew McIntyre and the Brawling Brutes came out through the crowd to address the Bloodline. I really did like this because it really did feel like it was the Shield. It felt like the Shield to me. I love that. But Judgment Day interrupted and said they run Raw and now the show must respect them. And Finn Balor says he hopes the Bloodline smashes the Brawling Brutes. Finn Balor then says AJ Styles has been stealing from him for years and is getting taxed at Survivor Series. Sheamus claimed Finn is a plastic patty and doesn't have any respect for him, and Sheamus then challenged them to a 6-man tag team match. The Brawling Brutes versus the Judgment Day. I've made it clear, you know how I feel about 6-man tags. The Brawling Brutes were able to pick up the win. Judgment Day gets attacked by Sheamus after the tried to attack Sheamus after the match, but the OC came out and attacked him. Kevin Owens then hit Balor with a stunner. I really missed that old stunner by Kevin Owens, man. That's I've gone on record saying it might not be my favorite, but it still is cool to see Kevin Owens hit that stunner. We then are supposed to get a match between Johnny Gargano and The Miz, but The Miz comes out and says he injured his hand while filming a TikTok video, so he can't fight Johnny Gargano tonight. He then introduces his replacement, the Giant Omos. Omos with MVP was able to beat Johnny Gargano. I didn't like this, being Johnny Gargano with the Wolves, kind of like this. I feel Johnny Gargano still needs to work a little bit on in-ring technician, but besides that, I feel he's ready for at least mid-card, if not main event push. It was then announced for Survivor Series we will get a triple threat match of Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Rollins then did an interview via satellite. Rollins said Theory is the stupidest person on the face of the earth for attacking from behind last week, and that's his game. And that never ends well for others. Theory was shown watching the interview and said he's been at rock bottom and it's the best thing that ever happened to him. We then get Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Austin Theory was able to pick up the win. I really don't like how they're treating Mustafa Ali, man. I was happy when the Triple H regime came in for him, but, Mustafa Ali deserves a little better here. After the match, Bobby Lashley came out and said Theory is out of his mind if he thinks he's going to take the United States title from Seth. Lashley said Theory cashed his Money in the Bank contract and still lost. Theory said he would be U.S. champion if it wasn't for Bobby Lashley. Theory then took a shot at Lashley and the Almighty, bringing up his loss to Brock Lesnar. A brawl broke out. Theory hit Lashley with a steel chair, and nothing happened. Lashley stood tall, ready to go, ready to beat some motherfucking ass, man. Lashley then turned around and tried to chase Austin Theory. Mustafa Ali was being checked by the trainer, and Theory shoved Ali into Lashley. Lashley beat the shit out of Ali, and put him in a hurt lock. I did not like that. Felt like a lot was going on just for the U.S. title this week. They really need a world title on Raw. They really do. We then get Elias and Matt Riddle versus Alpha Academy. Fun little match. Elias and Matt Riddle are able to pick up the win. The commentators kind of teased an Elias Riddle team. I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see Riddle go on a singles run for it. Maybe for the U.S. or for the Intercontinental title. They need something else, man. I don't know. It's just... I want to see Riddle as a singles competitor, see what he could do. He had a nice United States title feud with Bobby Lashley. He's had a great run with Randy Orton. What are you going to do when Randy Orton comes back? You going to split a tag team who you're really working hard to push already? I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem smart to me. We then get Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin. Drew McIntyre able to pick up the win, so Baron Corbin unable to pick up his revenge from WrestleMania. I kind of like that. I really do like that Drew McIntyre is able to still beat the shit out of Baron Corbin. We then get a brawl between the OC and the Judgment Day backstage. Fun little brawl. It really does make me excited for AJ Styles and Finn Balor. And the United States title picture is exciting, but it feels like there's nothing going on in Raw right now. We then get Rhea Ripley versus Asuka for the advantage in the War Games match. This was a fun match. Rhea Ripley and Asuka have amazing chemistry in the ring, and I'll say it till the day I die. These two can really go. Rhea Ripley picks up the win. Both teams end up brawling. It makes you wonder, though, who's that fifth member? Because I did say it's planned so far for Lynch, but there is apparently talk and rumors going around it could be Sasha Banks. And I did tweet out last week, hey, why are they showing Sasha Banks? Apparently it's supposed to be revealed on this week's SmackDown who it will be. I'm hoping it's Sasha Banks. I wouldn't be sad if it's Becky Lynch, especially now that Seth is apparently a face. I really do like that because I hated when it was like Beth Phoenix, Renee Young, when their husbands were heels and they were lovable baby faces. You know, I feel like if someone's going to be a heel and your spouse is there working for the company, I really would like to see a heel dynamic between the two of the spouse, whether it's a husband or a wife, I don't care. Of both of them just need to understand, of them understanding of, okay, this is why they're doing this. This is why they're heels and why they're doing anything they can to win. That's just my feeling. Doesn't have to be yours. That's why we live in, that's why everybody has opinions. Let's go Survivor Series 2000. I'm watching it now, actually, as I'm recording this. November 19th, 2000. The rules have changed. This was Stone Cold Steve Austin coming for revenge, kind of, really. I liked that. It kicked off with a 6-man tag of Steve Blackman, Crash Holly, and Molly Holly versus TNA, Tess Albert, and Trish Stratus. Fun match. I kind of enjoyed this match, even though how short it was. Nice 5-minute match. Steve Blackman and Crash Holly and Molly Holly pick up the win. We then get the Radicals, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn with Terry at ringside versus Billy Gunn, Chyna, Kay Quillick, who would go in to become the best 24/7 champion of all time, R-Truth, and Road Dogg in a 4-on-4 Survivor Series match. Fun match. You know, the Radicals really kind of dominated. It would come down to Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn, and Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn would be the sole survivors. The Radicals pick up the win in a nice 12-minute match. We then get a singles match between Kane and Chris Jericho. I really like the dynamic between these two. I don't know why, but for me, it always felt fun. Especially Chris Jericho at this time. After this, he would kind of have a feud with William Regal for WrestleMania 17. So I really felt like this was always a fun time for Chris Jericho. I feel he really enjoyed this time as a wrestler. We then get William Regal versus Hardcore Holly in a singles match for a WWF European Championship. Wait, hard to find a very bad William Regal match. This one isn't great, but still fun. Enjoyed it. William Regal picks up the win. We then get The Rock versus Rikishi, as The Rock is kind of going after Rikishi for saying that he ordered the hit of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So The Rock is able to beat Rikishi here in a fun match. Really enjoyable 13-minute Rock versus Rikishi match. Hard to find a bad Rikishi match, honestly, in my opinion, because I always liked Rikishi. I'm a big fan of his. I'm a bigger guy, so I always like it when a big guy's doing well. That's why I was always a big Shaquille O'Neal guy. I like people like that because, to me, it's just fun to see a big guy do well. So Rikishi has a great match here. The Rock ends up picking up the win in a nice 13-minute match. We then get Ivy versus Lita in a singles match for a WWF Women's Championship. Only a 4-minute, 55-second match. Shortest match on this card. I wish they gave these two women more time. Ivory does pick up the win over Lita. It's sad to just gloss over it because these two women really did impact women's wrestling. But at the same time, you're like, God, why aren't they giving them more time? Why aren't they letting them really show what they can do, I don't know. I wish it was more. Ivory picks up the win here. We then get your 16-minute championship match. WWF Championship, Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. Fun match. Really enjoyed this match. Undertaker always said Kurt Angle was one of his best opponents, and he does wish he was part of the streak at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, we never got that match at WrestleMania, but still awesome to see this. Really fun. Undertaker really getting into the American Badass gimmick, So if you're looking for a great match just to watch as part of Kurt Angle's WWF Championship run, here it is. Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. Kurt Angle retains in a 16-minute match. We then get your second and last Survivor Series elimination match. The Dudley Boys and Hardys versus Edge and Christian and Right to Censor, Bull Buchanan, and The Good Father, who was the Godfather. Okay match. Nothing really to write home about. The Dudley Boys always said Edge and Christian and the Hardys were some of their best opponents and best friends. Same with, for them at least, going with APA. So, this is a fun match for the chemistry, but mostly that just goes off. Sole survivor is Jeff Hardy. This would really lead to Jeff Hardy's big push. He would later, not that year, but later in the year, go on to have a great ladder match with The Undertaker. And this is kind of, in my mind, what pushed Jeff Hardy to the top was this match and that match with The Undertaker. We then get a 35-minute main event. That's right, 35 minutes of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H in a no disqualification match. And how's it end? No contest. This is what pisses me off about this show. This was a fun show up until this point. I mean, yeah, there were some matches where you're like, oh, that one wasn't great, but there was nothing that was really a stinker up until this ending. The fact that they ended this with no DQ, and I get why they were trying to do it. Triple H, a former champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin, a former champion. You're trying to give Stone Cold Steve Austin that push in the Royal Rumble so he could go face The Rock one more time for the WWF Championship at WrestleMania. You're trying to give that last big oomph. And you also have Triple H, who's supposed to be the guy, the one he's your number one heel, no matter what. Who do you book to lose this? Your number one heel, who you need to be a monster no matter what, or your number one baby face, who you're going to push for a feud at WrestleMania, where you're going to turn him into a heel. I don't know. So I guess their only way they felt was a no contest. I would have had Stone Cold winning clean here, or maybe just a little dirty, maybe just a little, but it shouldn't have been a no contest. Just my opinion. Just my opinion on Wrestling Made Simple. That's why you guys come to listen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in 4 days, War Games! I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this match. We get Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and to be announced later, versus Damage Control of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, and Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley. Oh, God, this is going to be a hard one to choose, man. These two War Games matches are very hard to choose for me. I'll go with the faces here, but I wouldn't be shocked if it ends with the heels winning. I wouldn't be shocked if it ends with Damage Control picking up the win. We then get the Brawling Brutes of Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Butch with Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, in the War Games as well. I'll go with the Bloodline here just because there's no way I could see anyone from the Bloodline taking the pin except for maybe Sami Zayn, but maybe that's how Sami Zayn will prove his worth, is by pinning Kevin Owens or something. We then get Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi for a singles match for a WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. There's no way Ronda loses. It's Ronda Rousey. I'll take that every day going to the bank. Ronda's going to retain here. We then get AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Whew. Oh, man, this is going to be a tough one. I'll go with AJ Styles, and Dominic Mysterio is going to cost Finn Balor the win, and he's going to be kicked out Judgment Day. We then get Seth freaking Rollins versus Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory in a triple threat match for a U.S. Championship. I think Theory's going to win this, go on the feud with Bobby Lashley, and they're going to put the World Championship on Seth, and then he's going to feud with Cody Rhodes when he comes back at WrestleMania. And just in case they're going to add it, because I think they will, Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. There's no way Bray Wyatt loses his debut match. No way. Bray Wyatt picks up the win. The only way Bray Wyatt could lose that match would be if somehow Uncle Howdy gets involved and costs him the match. It's going to be a fun Survivor Series, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait for Saturday, man. Saturday, it just looks like it's going to be fun. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to a fun bowl drink. The Warhead Candy Bowl. Yep, we're sticking with the war, ladies and gentlemen. So this is actually a kind of ice drink, and it's going to be layered. So be ready. This is a hard one. So here we go. We're going to infuse the vodka with Warheads, which is very easy to do. You take a nice bottle of vodka, and you pour it into to smaller bottles, and then you add the Warheads in, shake it a bit, and then throw into the fridge and let it sit in there for probably about 8 hours or so. So first you're going to have Warhead Black Cherry Vodka, 3 ounces of that, 3 ounces of Blue Raspberry Warhead Vodka, ice, and grenadine, 3 ounces of Green Apple Warhead Vodka, and here we go, for the yellow layer, 3 ounces of Lemon Warhead Vodka. Separate each Warhead candy into the bottle of vodka, allow a few hours to infuse. Now you're going to take each level, and you're going to put the vodka in with ice, blend until it's kind of chunky ice like a Slurpee. You're going to layer each color into the bowl. Make sure it just doesn't go into the layers. Be smart with it. and then you top it with Warheads, and you drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. And also make sure this is not a single drink. Do not drink this alone. This is a drink to have with your friends. Have at a party. This is a fun party drink. Not a drink of, oh, I'm home alone tonight. This looks fun. No, do not do that. Do not drink and drive. Do not overindulge. And do not consume alcohol if you are under 21 in the United States of America. And that is your drink of the week. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Battle Droid of the week. This is a very easy one for me. You know, I've been enjoying Raw, I've been enjoying SmackDown. And I said earlier to let go, so this is, to me, viable punishment for him for that stupid tweet, Braun Strowman, you are going to be the Battle Droid of the week. You fucked up on Twitter. We all know it. Hey, we fuck up every now and then. Enjoy your fuck up. Enjoy your award. Because you get this. Congratulations, Braun Strowman.
Uh-oh.
I know this podcast is coming out in the late hours tonight. I apologize. But it's my birthday. Yay. So, I've been out doing family things all day with my family, celebrating my birthday. So, thank you very much for listening. Enjoy Survivor Series. Enjoy this weekend of wrestling. I'll get back to you guys next week, ready to go with another episode. I'll let you guys know, though, because unfortunately I may have to do something else for next week. I hope I can record it later on next week. So, thank you very much. Have a great day. I've been the big guy. Enjoy this week of wrestling.